Hi guys, welcome to another Elementor video. This is Jamie from System22 and web designer txdrop.com. Oh, we got a fun one for you today. We got a little image there. When I hover over it, it's going to have some text drop down. Really easy to do, great little effect to have on your site. So let's get started. I've got this page open with Elementor here. Let's start a new section and we'll start from scratch. I'm going to add 3 columns to mine. And in my first column here, this will work with any module. I'm just going to use a little text module. There it is, a little text editor module right there. I'm going to leave that content just exactly like it is. Okay, the way this works is the image that we're actually looking at initially here is in the column. So let's go into the column, little grey icon here, left click, take you straight to the column. We go over to style. We've got a background type here. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to use a simple image. Select whatever image you want to pop in there. I'm going to have mine cover, so you see the whole image. And I want it to be in the middle. So position wise, I'm going to have it center. Great. Let's go back into our little widget now and make it the size that we actually want it. And we can do that with padding. I'm going to go to advanced. Here's the padding. I'm going to give it 60 pixels all around. That's more of the sort of shape that I want there. Okay, while we're in here, let's turn that text white so we can actually see it. That's going to be over in style. And text color. I'm going to see if we turn that white. Okay, that's okay. But I might want to darken down that background just a little bit when we hover over it and bring it down so we can read that writing better. And we've got a little pink line there which actually represents where the widget is. And you can see the image is actually spilling outside of it in the column. So I want to put a background color on this text so we can see it better when they hover over it. Because initially it's going to be up here somewhere. So let's go back into our column. And if we look down here, we've got a background overlay. We're still on the style tab. Here's the background overlay. On hover, not on normal, I'm going to leave it as it is on normal, just on hover, I'm going to give it a dark overlay. As you can see, that's darkening it down now when we overlay it, and you can read that text a lot better with that dark overlay on there. Great. Well, while we're in this actual column, let's fix the image spilling out there. And that's really easy to do. If we go over to advanced here, I'll just give it a margin. I think that was 10 pixels by default. So if I give it a margin of 10 pixels all around and take the padding away, our module and column are exactly the same size there. Perfect. Just what we wanted. Now, because I'm going to throw this up out of the way here, I don't want to see it when it's up here, obviously. So I'm going to write a little bit of code to hide the overflow. Now, I'm using Elementor Pro here. And if you're using the free version, you can write this code in your additional CSS panel to get there. Go to your dashboard. I'm using the free Hello theme from Elementor. I would suggest you use that if you're using Elementor as it's optimized for it. But most WordPress themes have somewhere for you to put additional CSS. And most of the time it's in Appearance and Customize. Then you'll have an additional CSS panel down here. And this is where you can write this code that I'm writing. So you can see what's going on today. I'm just doing it on the page. I'll bring it over here when we're finished just to show exactly what I mean. Okay, let's go back to this page. I'm going to go into the custom CSS. I'm going to invent a class for this. I'm going to call this class C overflow or something like that. All class names have a dot or a period. You can call yours what you want. Put your cursor in there. I'm going to call mine COVF, column overflow. That's my shorthand for. I'm going to open and close some curly brackets here. In between, I'm just going to write overflow, colon, and the word hidden, semicolon. That way, when I push this outside of this, you will not see anything outside of this column here. Okay, well, let's do it. We're going to do the same thing for this code. I'm going to go into my little widget here, and we'll write a bit of code for this. I'm going to go down to the bottom to my custom CSS. And I'm going to invent another class name. I call this txdrop, I think. I'm going to say txdrop. It's a class name, so we need to put a dot or a period in front of it. We'll open and close some more curly brackets here. Now to scoot this up, I'm going to use negative margin. So I'll say margin, top, dash top. I'm going to give it negative 200%, so it's going to shoot it up by twice of its height. Now we won't see anything again until we give it this class, and we know how to do that. If I copy that, txdrop without the dot, Control C to copy, go to our little layout tab at the top. Here's our CSS classes. Again, make sure you put it in the class, not the ID. It's shot at the top there. And there's no actual content now in our column because our text is way up there somewhere. That's why it's got skinny. Now we can counter that if we go back down to our custom CSS by giving it 200% padding on the bottom. So I'll say padding, dash bottom, 200%. And now that image is back to the shape that we want it. But of course, I want, when we hover over it, I want that text to roll back down. So we can do that by creating a hover state for it. So if I copy all of this, Control C to copy, drop down, Control V to paste, just after the P of drop there with no gap, I'm going to put a colon and the word hover. I'm going to say margin top 0. Don't need a %, just the actual 0 itself. And I can take that padding away, put a 0 in there also, so it's back to how it was. If I hover over now, that line is there. But it's happening so quickly, it looks like it's just fading in instead of dropping in. To make it actually drop in, or so you can see it's dropping in, we need to slow this effect down a bit. So in the regular state, I'm going to drop down one more after that semicolon. We're going to give it a transition duration. Transition. And you can use the prompter if you want to. It's got it right there. Transition duration, colon. I'm going to make mine 700 milliseconds or 0.7 seconds. That way, now when I hover over it, it's going to drop in just like that. Fantastic. And we should be good to go. But like I say, I'm using the Pro version here. So with the free version, let's just copy this code. I'll cut it out of there, Control X to cut. I'm going to go into my customizer to the additional CSS panel. I'll give it a title. Title is / /*/. I'll call it txdrop. Hover. I'm going to paste this code down in here. And I'm also going to go back here. We've got no code in there anymore. We'll go into the column. I'll do exactly the same thing. Now the column and the widget will still have those class names. But for those of you that have the free version of Elementor, you won't be able to use this custom CSS panel. So I'm going to cut this, Control X. And we'll put this in here as well. And again, I'll give it a title. The reason we give things titles is much easier to find if you write a lot of CSS. I do. And also if anybody else edits your site, it's a courtesy. And I'll drop down. And I'll put all this code down below the video for anybody who wants to copy and paste. But it is a good idea to actually write this. So once you put it in there, make sure you hit the publish. We're good to go here. So let's just update this site. And we'll preview it. There you can see the little image we put in. When I hover over, that text is going to drop down. The background's going to darken out. You can read it nicely. Great little effect. And let's just check it on tablet and mobile. If I hit my F12 key and get my responsive devices up. Here we go on an iPhone. There it is at the top there. When I click on it, That text will pop down. When I click off, it'll pop back up. Really easy to do. Nice little effect to have on your site. And let's have a look on an iPad. It'll be a bit longer on an iPad. That's why I gave it 200%. There it is on an iPad. I click on it. Text is going to roll down. Click off. It's going to roll back up there. Fantastic. Great. Well, let's get rid of this now. In our next little video, I'll show you this one, which is a simple fade in. Really easy to do. And again, nice little effect to have on your website. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.